11. Love the Lord your God and keep his requirements, his decrees, his laws, and his commands always. Remember today that your children were not the ones who saw and experienced the discipline of the Lord your God, his majesty, his mighty hand, his outstretched arm, the signs he performed, and the things he did in the heart of Egypt, both to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and his whole country. What he did to the Egyptians' army and to its horses and chariots, how he overwhelmed them with the waters of the Red Sea as they were pursuing you, and how the Lord brought lasting ruin on them. It was not your children who saw what they did for you in the wilderness until you arrived at this place, and what he did to Dathan, Abiram, sons of Eliab, and Reubenite, when the earth opened its mouth right in the middle of all Israel and swallowed them up with their households, their tents, and every living thing that belonged to them. But it was your own eyes that saw all these great things the Lord had done. Observe therefore all the commands that I am giving you today, so that you may have the strength to go in and take over the land that you are crossing to Jordan to possess, and so that you may live long in the land that the Lord swore to your ancestors, to give them and their descendants a land flowing with milk and honey. The land you are entering to take over is not like the land of Egypt from which you have come, where you planted your seeds and irrigated it by foot as in a vegetable garden. But the land you are crossing to Jordan, the Jordan to take possession of, is a land of mountains and valleys that drinks rain from heaven. It is a land that the Lord your God cares for. The eyes of the Lord your God are continually on it from the beginning of the year to its end. So if you faithfully obey the commands that I am giving you today, to love the Lord your God and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, then I will send rain on the land in its season, both autumn and spring rains, so that you may gather in your grain, new wine, and new olive oil. I will provide grass in the fields for your cattle, and you will eat and be satisfied. Be careful, or you will be enticed to turn away and worship other gods and bow down to them. Then the Lord's anger will burn against you, and he will shut up from the heavens, so that it will not rain, and the ground will yield nor produce, and you will soon perish from the good land the Lord is giving you. Fix these words of mine in your heart and mind. Tie them as symbol on your hands and bind them to your forehead. Teach your children, talking about them when you sit at home, and when you walk along the road, and when you lie, and when you get up. Write them on your door frames of your houses and on your gates, so that your days and the days of your children will be many in the land of the Lord that swore to give your ancestors, so that many as the days the heavens are above the earth. If you carefully observe all these commands I am giving you to follow, to love the Lord your God, walk in obedience, hold fast to him, then the Lord will drive out all the nations before you, and you will dispossess nations larger and stronger than you. Every place where you set your foot will be yours. Your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon and the Euphrates River of Mediterranean Sea. No one will be able to stand against you. The Lord your God, as he promised you, will put the terror and fear of you on the whole land wherever you go. See, I am setting before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing, if you obey the commands of the Lord your God that I am giving you today. The curse, if you disobey the commands of the Lord your God and turn from the way that I command you today by following other gods, which you have not known. When the Lord your God has brought you into the land you're entering to possess, You are to proclaim the Mount Gerizim blessings and the Mount Ebal the curses. And you know these mountains are across the Jordan, west of the road, towards the setting sun, near the great tree of Moreh, in the territory of those Canaanites living in the Arabah and the vicinity of Gilgal. You are about to cross the Jordan to enter and to take possession of the land the Lord your God is giving you. When you have taken it over and are living there, be sure that you obey all the decrees and laws I am setting before you today. Deuteronomy chapter 12. These are the decrees and laws you must be careful to follow in the land that the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has given you to possess as long as you live in the land. Destroy completely all the places on the high mountains, on the hills, and under the spreading tree, where the nations you are dispossessing worship their gods. Break down their altars, smash their sacred stones, and burn their Asherah poles in the fire. Cut down the idols of their gods and wipe out the names of those places. You must not worship the Lord your God in their way, but you are to seek the place the Lord your God would choose from among all your tribes, to put his name there for his dwelling. To the place you must go. There, bring your burnt offerings and sacrifices, your tithe and your special gift, what you have vowed to give, and your free will offering, and the firstborn of your herds and flock. There, in the presence of the Lord your God, you and your family shall eat and rejoice in everything you have put your hands to, because the Lord your God has blessed you. You are not to do as we do yet today, everyone doing as they see fit. Since you have not yet reached the resting place and inheritance the Lord your God is giving you, but you will cross the Jordan and settle in the land the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, and he will give you rest from all your enemies around you, so that you will live in safety. Then to the place the Lord your God will choose as a dwelling for his name, there you are to bring everything I command you, your burnt offerings and sacrifices, your tithe and special gifts, and all the choice possessions you have vowed to the Lord. And there rejoice before the Lord your God, you, your sons and daughters, your males and females servants, and the Levite from your town, who have no endowment or inheritance of their own. Be careful not to sacrifice your burnt offerings anywhere you please. Offer them only at the place the Lord will choose, in one of your tribes, and there observe everything I command you. Nevertheless, you may slaughter your animals in any of your towns and eat as much of the meat as you want, as if it were gazelle or deer, according to the blessing the Lord your God gives you. Both the ceremonially unclean and the clean may eat it. You must not eat the blood. Pour it out on the ground like water. You may not eat in your own towns the tithe of your grains and new wine and olive oil, or the firstborn of your herds and flocks, or whatever you have vowed to give your free will's offering, or the special gift you have promised. Instead, you are to eat them in the presence of the Lord your God at your place. The Lord your God will choose you and your sons and daughters, your male and female servants, and the Levites from your towns, and you are to rejoice before the Lord your God in everything you put your hands to. Be careful, do not neglect the Levites as long as you live in your land. When the Lord your God has enlarged your territory, and He promised you, and you crave meat and say, I would like some meat, then you must eat as much of it as you want. If the place where the Lord your God chooses to put His name is too far away for you, you may slaughter any of your herds and of flocks that the Lord is giving to you as I have commanded you, and in your own town you may eat as much of it as you want. Eat it as you would gazelle or deer. Both the ceremonially unclean and the clean may eat it. But be sure you do not eat the blood, because the blood is the life, and you must not eat the life of the meat. Do not eat blood. Pour it out on the ground like water. Do not eat it so that it may go well with you and your children after you, because you will be doing what is right in the eyes of the Lord. But take your consecrated things and whatever you have vowed to give, and go to the place the Lord will choose. Present your burnt offerings on the altar of the Lord your God, both the meat and the blood. The blood of your sacrifices must be poured out beside the altar of the Lord your God, but the meat you may eat. Be careful, obey all these regulations I am giving you, so that it may also go well with you and your children after you, because you will be doing what is good and right in the eyes of the Lord your God. The Lord your God will cut off before you the nations you are about to invade and dispossess. But when you have driven them out and settled in their land, and after they have been destroyed before you, be careful not to ensnare by inquiring about their gods, saying, how do these nations serve their gods? We will do the same. You must worship the Lord your God in their way, because in worshiping their gods, they do all kinds of detestable things, and the Lord hates. They even burn their sons and daughters in fire as sacrifices to their gods. See that you do all I command you. Do not add to it or take away from it. Deuteronomy chapter 13. If a prophet or one who foretells by dreams appears among you and announces to you a sign or wonder, and if the sign or wonder spoken of takes place, and the prophet says, let us follow other gods you have not known, and let us worship them, you must not listen to the words of that prophet or dreamer. The Lord your God is testing you to find out whether you love Him with all your heart and all your soul. It is the Lord your God you must follow, and Him you must revere. Keep His commands and obey Him, serve Him and hold fast to Him. The prophet or dreamer must be put to death for inciting rebellion against the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt and redeemed you from the land of slavery. That prophet or dreamer tried to turn you from the Lord your God commanded you to follow. You must purge the evil from among you. If your very own brother or your son or daughter or the wife you love or your closest friend secretly entice you, saying, let us go and worship other gods that neither you nor your ancestors have known, gods of the people around you, whether near or far, from one end of the land to the other, do not yield to them or listen to them. Show them no pity. Do not spare them or shield them. you must certainly put them to death. Your hand must be the first to put them to death, and then the hands of all the people. Stone them to death, because they tried to turn you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. Then all Israel will hear and be afraid, and no one among you will do such evil thing again. If you hear it about one of the towns the Lord your God is giving you to live in, that troublemakers have arisen among you, and have led the people of their own town astray, saying, "Let us go and worship other gods," then you must inquire, probe, and investigate it thoroughly. And if it is true that it has been proved that this detestable thing has been done among you, you must certainly put to the sword all who live in that town. You must destroy it completely, both its people and its livestock. You are to gather all the plunder of the town into the middle of the public square, and completely burn the town and all its plunder as a whole burnt offering to the Lord your God. That town is to remain a ruin forever, never to be rebuilt, and none of the condemned thing are to be found in your hands. Then the Lord will turn from his fierce anger and show you mercy, and will have compassion on you. It will increase your numbers as he promised an oath to your ancestors, because you obeyed the Lord your God by keeping all his commands that I am giving you today, and doing what is right in his eyes.
This is the soothing word of God. If you enjoyed today's reading, please like, subscribe, comment what you think, and share with your friends. I would like to see you tomorrow. The Bible continues tomorrow. Same time, same venue. God bless you.